Yeah, well, just first of all, just great to be part of the panel. I'm learning so much all the way across the board. What Josh is referring to is I was involved. I've lived about 20 years out of Atlanta mainly. I'm living in Austin, Texas, last few years. When I was in Atlanta, I started an inner city program in the inner city for, these kids didn't know anyone that had a father. There was not a father in the entire communities, entire school system. So we're almost 99% fatherless kids. And what we saw was like this hunger, this thirst for young men to be around male authority figures. We started a program with a couple of really good-natured retired Marine Corps drill sergeants who understand more about the psychology of the 16 to 18-year-old American male than any psychiatrist, any adolescent psychologist will ever even dream of understanding. And I saw that, and where I think it's applicable here is really two things. Well, first of all, the program started out with 50 kids. Within 4 weeks, there were over 1,200 kids coming for very intense 2-hour drill, boot camp style physical exercise every morning between 6 and 8 a.m. in the middle of the most dangerous projects, if you will, in Atlanta. And the reason it came up with, I was talking with Josh a couple of years ago about it, is that a few years ago, I always go over and we have a big, party in my house, all the team leaders. We've got over 1,800 kids involved, or actually, 2,800 kids involved with it now. And we got them all summer jobs, different teams, mowing lawns, raking leaves, doing whatever, just to keep them active, to keep them going. And a couple of years ago, they started asking, their main, critique or suggestion was, we'd like to start getting paid with roadblocks instead of money. And I'm like, are you insane? It's like, what are you talking about? But it goes back to something that Sharon Hudson was saying in the last panel, which is your mind doesn't understand the difference between a virtual reality experience and a physical reality experience. In their world, Roblox bucks were currency. US dollars were just this weird paper that, that's just one way to pay for it. But here's the other one. So there's two things on it. One is kind of that blending of realities. The second one was the thirst for knowledge and authentic individualized experience. And this is where I think, we have such an incredible opportunity here in terms of individualized learning. We've been taught through business schools forever. Michael Porter, I'm a huge fan of Michael Porter, head of strategy teaching at Harvard Business School. And he says there's two strategies. You can either have a highly differentiated product, which is bespoke, it's very costly to deliver it, bespoke for each person, or you can have a commoditized product where your focus is on being a low-cost provider. You have to choose one or the other. Mm-hmm. What you're talking about building here really has the advantages of both, because that's really only in the physical world. Right. With individualized learning like this, you have the advantages of the individualized experience with the low-cost base provider of a almost fixed cost platform. Mm-hmm. We have not seen that in the world of physical businesses operating with actual materials. Mm-hmm. And so that requires, I think, a bit of a retooling of our thinking about these business models. Look, we talk about gamification, and I just want to be sure that we don't go down that we put it in context. Yeah. Gamification is not the strange new topic in human experience. Gamification is what happens when you leave kids alone. They gamify stuff. Exactly. Gamification is probably better defined as the way human brains think if you're not screwing with them, right? Okay. Classroom lecturing, that is the artificial force that was imposed on humans. That's what's unnatural. Gamification is just how human beings behave and see the world, interact with it.